Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Red Docking Projections. My name is Lucas, and I have Eric here as always.
Hey guys.
And today we'll be diving deep into the Arizona Senate race. Although we do kind of those brief videos where we do the Senate predictions before, we're going to go deeper into the Arizona Senate race, be analyzing it with this Wikipedia article here we have. If you guys don't remember, this is Mark Kelly versus current Senator Martha McSally. And with that being said, let's get right into it. So let's first give some background on what's happened here. I'll actually zoom up here. Essentially what happened was Representative Martha McSally at the time in 2018 ran against also her fellow representative in the U.S. Congress, Kirsten Sinema. In the election, it was relatively close. Kirsten Sinema was able to win this seat and flipped it. This used to be Jeff Flake's seat. He retired. Kirsten Sinema flipped that seat to a Democrat. She won the seat. She's currently serving in the Senate. Now that's on the end of Martha McSally. In 2018, John McCain passed away. This was in I believe, the summer of 2018. And then after that, John Keel was actually appointed by Doug Ducey to fill the remainder of his term until the special election happened, which is this year. However, what actually happened was he actually resigned. He was the former Senate Minority Whip. He resigned. And then Doug Ducey appointed Martha McSally, which many consider to be a huge blunder. And it makes sense why. Martha McSally ran in 2018. Voters didn't want her. She didn't get elected. Now, Doug Ducey appointed her, someone who the people didn't want. He's essentially going against what the people wanted in 2018. So now people are going to kind of remember that, and some of them might not go out and vote for Martha McSally, knowing that kind of it was a losing candidate. They rejected her the first time. They might not want to vote for her a second time either. And that's kind of why this seat has become competitive, along with a strong competitor, challenger, astronaut Mark Kelly. I'll first give some more background on Martha McSally. Again, I said before, she was a representative from the state of Arizona, 2nd Congressional District, as it says here. And as it says here again, she ran in 2018. The Republican primary, she is against a skincare executive.
Interesting.
Let's just say I think that Martha McSally will probably win this primary. I don't see any surprise here. She's probably going to win. So I think that was enough information on Martha McSally. Eric, why don't you dig deeper into Mark Kelly?
Yeah, so Mark Kelly is running for the Democratic Party, and let's give some context about him. He wasn't all politics. He actually wasn't from Arizona. He was born and raised in New Jersey, and then after that, he went to the Navy, and he got a few awards in the Navy. And then after serving in the Navy, he became an astronaut, and he flew on multiple missions, not one. And he piloted many different shuttles to space, and he's a very known astronaut. That's his most, at the moment, that's his most known highlight of his life. Now, he wants to run for the Senate against Martha McSally. And he does really have the recognition. He was an astronaut. He served in the Navy. Additionally, his wife right now, Gabby Giffords, she is a representative for one of Arizona's seats in the House. Former representative. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was to be a former representative for one of the seats. So Mark Kelly is kind of in a good position here. Once again, he has the recognition, and his wife has political experience, and if people will associate him with his wife. And that is also supported by the polls. Although the polls do swing a bit to the left, they still state that, Kelly has a pretty comfortable margin over Martha McSally, which we will show right now.
+10. Wow.
Yeah. Also, in general, Arizona is becoming more of a it is swinging more and more to the left. These Black Lives Matter protests will definitely, as we always say, this will definitely impact the election, not only the presidential, but just overall elections. And you know, and Arizona also has a highly Hispanic demographic,
Mhm.
so they're in support of the movement, and they will definitely be voting a lot more Democratic,
Mhm.
meaning a lot more turnout.
Definitely. And I do want to add to the point of Mark Kelly's name recognition. I think a lot of children do know him too for being in the International Space Station with his twin brother, Scott Kelly. I think that is really interesting to think about because a lot of people do know who he was and who he is, and some of them who might believe in his beliefs will go out and vote for him. I do want to bring another point to Martha McSally. She is currently I believe, the fifth most unpopular senator in the United States. That's not too good for her. It's kind of name recognition, but in kind of a bad way. That one, she ran and she lost, she got appointed, and now she is not so good um, approval rating. So that's not looking too good for her either. And Eric has mentioned that um, Arizona is swinging more to the left. This state is competitive in the 2020 presidential election. So how can that kind of affect this? Essentially, those Democrats might be going out and voting for Joe Biden in the presidential election because they know that this state is competitive and they do want to go and vote for the person they want to vote for. In this case, if they're a Democrat, they'll probably go vote for Joe Biden. And now, since they're going to the polls and voting for Joe Biden, when they kind of look at that ballot, they might also be voting for the Democratic candidate in the Senate as well. So that might also allow Mark Kelly to get a lot of those votes in that he might not have during another year. Because usually when vote turnout is higher, the Democratic candidates usually tend to overperform. According to polling, he's leading by 10%. We don't really want to put this one as safe yet. I'm sorry, as likely yet, with the reason being that Arizona is this new type of swing state, but we're really close to doing that. We put Arizona as in between lean and likely, but very soon, if this kind of keeps going, we could kind of see that happen. In 2018, the polls actually predicted Martha McSally to win, which is kind of surprising because Kirsten Sinema did win by 2 or 3 points. So if the poll is that wrong, like swung to the right like this year, that's a pretty big lead for Mark Kelly. Although I do think that is pretty unlikely that it swung that much again. Recent polls show a huge lead. This is a 15-point lead. That is a lot, but it's still a lot of undecided voters. Yeah, third primary undecided 40%. So we still have a lot of undecided voters who might vote for another candidate, but that is really interesting to take a look at. But I also want to head back to kind of the 2016 election. John McCain did win. He won by 13%. This was no surprise here. John McCain is a well-known senator. He ran for president in 2018, was the Republican nominee, obviously lost to Barack Obama, but he's a well-known figure. So no one really thought that he was going to lose here. I meant 2008. Apologies. But I think this is not really indicative of what's going to happen this year because we have a well-known candidate here who served 6 terms, served for a while. 2020, however, it's different. We have an unpopular senator versus a well-known figure. So I do think that Mark Kelly will probably take the seat at the end of the day in a lean to likely margin. All right, and that's the end of the episode for today. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this episode, please hit the like button. And if you like our content, please hit subscribe. We'll see you in our next episode tomorrow.
See ya.